Hi, I'm Tom Trust. Remember the referenda the Dutch and the French had about the constitution of the EU, and they voted no, and that should have put it to bed, or so we were led to believe, because it had to be accepted by every member state. Of course, after those two no votes, Tony Blair didn't let us have the referendum here in the UK. He couldn't bear to be embarrassed by a solid no vote that he would have got. That would have made him look really silly before he took up his presidency. But here's a little chestnut for you, because on Deutsche Welle TV in Germany, somebody called Hans-Gert Püttering was interviewed. He's the likely new president of the European Parliament, and he was being asked questions about the German EU presidency and the chances for an EU constitution, and he actually said, well, I would like the German presidency to come up with a way of moving forward. I want a decision on what mandate any conference on the European Constitution would have if such a conference takes place, in an attempt to realise the main goal of the Constitution. In other words, the Germans are quite keen that the Constitution should not be dead and buried, as it ought to be, as a result of the democratic decision of two of the member states. It's going to be put back in the frame. And you know what democracy in the EU means. We've seen it before. If they ask you to vote on something and you vote against what they want, they ask you to vote for it again, or else they find another way of bringing it in. So watch this space. The Constitution will be imposed, and that'll mean an awful lot of things in the UK that we don't want, unless, of course, we aren't in it. We have got to get out of the EU, and you've got to find a way of voting for a candidate in the next general election who will pledge to vote for us to leave the EU. Otherwise, we are going to be stuck in this morass. Thank you.